All right, we're on the next session with the Bruce Lee picture. Now I want to apologize because the second video I made was me working on his hair, and I don't know what happened, but I had made an attempt to upload the video or edit the video, I should say, and I lost it. It got deleted, and so my apologies for those that are, drawing this picture and following along. I apologize. If anything, I will just make a separate video of like how to do hair. But yeah, I really apologize for that, man. But I wanted to continue on with the process. So I'm gonna just pick up, where I left off. So I'm gonna try to finish this bottom part of his face, try to complete the face in this video. So I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna start from left to right. I'm starting with dark flesh. Now again, when I looked it up online on Dick Blix, I couldn't find it under dark flesh. It was warms earth or something, but then when I get the pencil, it says dark flesh. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm not sure what's up with that, but it's dark flesh 741, and yeah. So that's what we're gonna start with. And I'm gonna work left to right. And I'm going really lightly, real light under his nose. And again, you want to make sure you have something, piece of paper or something, so your hand is not pressing on the art. You don't want that. You can get you a hand drawing glove. I like to use drawing glove and this. Why I use both, I don't know. I just do it. But you know why? Because sometimes, not even thinking, I won't have this there, and I'll put my hand there, so it's like a backup, basically. So we're gonna go real light under the nose with the dark flesh. I want to keep this space above his top lip open because that's gonna pretty much be white, not white, but like a real bright peach color right here. Really light. Okay. I'm gonna take, what is this color? I'm gonna go in with beige. This is Prismacolor. Yeah, beige. And I'm gonna hit this corner right here behind his nostril with the beige. go back in with this dark flesh to get it in the corner a little bit. Make sure them pencil points are sharp. Try to keep them as sharp as a tack. I got that kaput mortuum. I'm just touching up this corner. And this is cinnamon. Faber-Castell polychromo. I'm just hitting this line right here. This, I don't even know what to call it. Was it the smile line, or just touching that up? Now I'm going to use gray now. I'm going to use, let me see here, hold on, wait a second. I'm going to use cold gray number 5. I'm going to get this area under his nose. And you don't have to go on pressing really hard, you can kind of build it up a little bit. And I'm just doing like a circular motion. Really light. I'm going to darken it a little bit down here. And, you just build it up gradually. Take your time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I'm coming back in with the kaput. And now I'm going to come back in with the black, darken this inside of the nostril up a little bit more. Add a little bit of black under here. Mm-hmm. Darkening around the nostril a little bit. Because sometimes when you color over darker areas, it'll dull it out. So I'm just kind of retouching it, touching it up. That's all I'm doing. Retouching it up. I mean, I could go back in the end and do that, but I'm just doing it as I go along. Okay. Coming in with the dark flesh. I'm gonna hit this corner of his mouth. Hit it with the kaput. Cause it's like a reddish grayish color on the corner of his mouth. Alright. I'm coming with the beige. Around this part. And I'm coming back in with the gray because I want to darken it up some more. And like I said, if you need to, squint your eye so you can see the value. So you can see the value of the area you're working on. It's very important. Separating the different values. I just used this, what is this? This is light cobalt blue. It's such a small, tiny area right here, but that's what this color looked like to me right here at the corner. I mean, is it necessary? No, not really. But I'm just letting you know that's what I was using. Now I'm coming with the white. Alright, let's get this top lip. Lip. Come in with the kaput. My point needs to be sharper than this. When you're doing small areas, you got to make sure that point is sharp. And also make sure too when you're coloring, like say like how I'm coloring this lip, right? You don't want these edges, like this shape of the lip, you don't want the edge to be too sharp. You don't want the edges too sharp, because it won't look realistic. You have to have soft edges. And how you get soft edges is, let me demonstrate, right? So okay, so say you have this, right? See, this is a hard edge, right? But you don't want your edges too hard like that. So what you do is you can go in a circular motion, very tiny circular motion, and go along the edge of it. I don't know if you can see that, but just go along the edge of it in a circular motion. Back and forth, small circles, and it softens the edge up. That's what I mean by softening the edge. You don't want hard lines like that, because that's not how reality looks like on a portrait. It doesn't look like, you just don't see sharp edges like that. So you gotta soften them edges up. Very important. And if you look at any realistic portrait, or just look at a portrait in general, like you don't see a bunch of hard edges. It's soft edges. Everything's soft. I'm using the cinnamon for the bottom lip. Now for the line, for this dark area, for the line of his mouth, like that separates his two lips, I'm not going to just go in with black, right? Because it's not going to look natural. Because it's really not black, to be honest. Like, if you zoom in, it's not black. But sometimes you can't get the darks that you need. So I'm going in first with my dark or burnt umber first. Or dark umber, I'm sorry. And then I'm gonna, to darken it up, I'm gonna just touch it with, I'm gonna touch it with the black. But I'm gonna make sure this point is really sharp. Hit it with the black. I don't even gotta press that hard. There we go. this over here with this. This is cold gray number 2. Go back in, darken this up. And the reason why I keep touching up areas that I've already done is because as I color, I see the values change on my drawing. And I'm looking at the reference, and I'm trying to continue to match the reference. That's why I say it's all about seeing, training your eye to see. But, we already can see, but you got to train your eye to see. Double vision. You got to see past what your eye initially sees, and you got to look deeper. All about details. Now this highlight above his lip could be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to go in here with the white. Okay. Guess that works. That little highlight there on that bottom lip. Alright, now we're back with the dark flesh again. We're going to work this cheek area, bring this down. I'm going to come in with the beige. I'm going to blend this in right here. If I had to recommend the best shading or coloring motion, I would definitely say circular. The circular motion is probably the best. Yeah. I mean, you can do diagonal. I mean, you could do cross-hatching, shading, and all that, but I think the circular motion is probably the best. Now I'm going to go in with because this is too bright, right? This is too bright. So we got it. Well, you know what? Before we get to that, I'm gonna fill in the rest of his cheek and the rest of his face, I should say. And we'll go back in and add all the extra colors that we need. But even as you're coloring, laying down the base color, you still want to pay attention to tones. You don't want to just color it in. Like, you want to look at the different tones. That way, certain areas you're not going to color it as dark, right? Like right here, this is kind of a grayish area. So I'm not going to press too hard with it in this area. Yeah, it's like a bump on his face. So I just put like a bump. And you see how it's lighter over here by the hair. So I'm not going to press as hard over here. Get his jaw. Alright. We're going to work it all the way down to his jawline. Alright. Alright. So now, I think I'm going to go in with, I'm just going to work this area right here, right? Now I already put the dark flesh and then I went over it with the beige. Now I'm going to go over it again with the nougat. Very lightly though. Do not want to press hard. Very lightly. And you just want to pay attention to the different planes on his face. See the highlighted areas right here. Because the face is not flat. It has curvature, it has planes to it. And now, yeah. I'm going to hit it with the beige just to blend this in a little bit over here. Just a little bit. Now, there's a shadow in this area right here. It's a little bit darker. Right? So I'm going to take the cold gray number 5 and I'm going to go over it like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take the kaput and I'm just going to go around the hair. Because if you look at the reference, you can see, if you zoom in on the reference, you can see it's like reddish tint on the hairs. You might have to press a little bit just to get it in there. Because again, I told you with this paper, it doesn't take a lot of layers. So once you press hard, that's it. You can't really add a whole bunch of other layers after that. That's why I say, you gotta be careful. Okay. All right. Now we're going to bring in the gray. And make sure when you get your colors, make sure you rack up on all the different type of grays. I'm telling you. Like gray is so important. This is, this is warm gray. Number 4, 273. And I'm going to go over it very lightly. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference when you're trying to do realistic skin tones. Because when I first started using color pencils, I had no idea about using gray. And I mentioned this in another video, but like my portraits look so orangey brown. Like it's just I mean, I didn't know, you know what I mean? I didn't have someone like myself to teach me, so I had to learn on my own, you know, and that took some time before I actually figured out, okay, I need to mix in some more colors. But you gotta add them grays. Because you just don't want you don't want that raw brownish burnt sienna color. It just looks so bright, like the skin is just glowing. It just doesn't look natural. That gray, very light. Now, I don't want to go too much. I don't want to go back up. We're trying to work our way down, but yeah, you just gotta hit it with that gray. And you'll gradually see it. It's very subtle, but you'll see the difference. You'll see it. Almost instantly, you'll see the difference. Alright. I'm going to come down with the dark flesh and I'm going to press a little bit harder because this is dark. This area is darker. Before I go down that far, let me hit this with the... Again, before you use white on a light area, you want to make sure that the tip of your white pencil is clean because you'll smear colors that are on the tip, you'll smear right onto the white and it'll mess it up. You got to make sure it's clean. And you can usually get it clean by just sharpening it. All right. All right, I think we're looking good. Let me hit this area right here. This is... And then I'm gonna hit this with the light gray. All right. Okay, let's see now. Where are we? Now I'm going to get under this top lip, this bottom lip right here with the kaput. And I know I'm using a lot of the same colors I did with the LeBron, but don't think that, okay, these are the colors, these are the only colors that are used on every portrait, and that's not the case, because every portrait has its own unique colors. I promise you. You don't want to get in the habit of just using the same colors on every single portrait, because that's something that I was doing as well. Every portrait of brown skin, I'm just using the same colors over and over, and it's just like, nah, no. Again, you can still make a nice picture, a realistic picture, but if you're trying to, take it to the next level, and you want your work to separate from others, because I'm sure you do, you have to look at each individual portrait that you're working on and look closely at the colors used. This kind of curves up. Because I just did a picture of Michael Jordan, but this was like a retired older Michael Jordan. And he had, it was so many different colors, believe it or not. His skin is really dark, but it was just like so many different grays. And the mixture of colors was just kind of wild. But, like I said, every portrait is different. I'm coming with this. You know what? I didn't even need to use that. Forget I even used that. I'm going to get too sidetracked. But, yeah, every portrait has its own unique color palette. Trying to figure out how far down to make this, because I did elongate his face a little bit more than the reference, but that's only because that's my style of exaggeration. Alright, so now I'm going to come in with the cold gray number 5. I'm pressing kind of hard because I want to darken that. All right. I'm coming in with the beige to blend this in. come in with the cold gray number 5, very lightly, circular motion, getting this area around the mouth. If you look closely, it looks a little gray. It's probably where hair would grow in if you let his hair grow. So it's gray. If there's anywhere on a man's face that you see where it would have been hair, but there's no hair there, more than likely it's gonna be a gray tint to it. Yeah, get that nice and gray. Okay, we're gonna work our way down with this gray. I'm giving a little bit of pressure to work that gray in there. Come back in with the kaput. Probably just gonna make his chin just a smidget smaller. See how I'm leaving this space? Because I don't want his chin all the way down here. I know it's not a big difference, but it is a big difference. So I'm gonna fix that right now. Just gonna come up a little bit. See that? And then we just want to smooth that out because we want to make the background look blurry. So I'm just going to blend that out right there. There we go. And just a little small adjustment. I'm taking a gray 2. Just kind of blending this in. Alright, now I'm coming back with the dark flesh, leaving this area open because that's where his little bump is, or mole, or whatever it is. And we can press a little hard, not too hard, not too hard, but just enough to get it darker. We still want to leave this corner right here lighter. Okay. I'm going to go back over with this lighter area with the beige. Blend that in. All right. I'm going to go over this lightly with the kaput. Very lightly. Very lightly. Because we don't want it too red. I mean, his skin looks pretty red over here, but we don't want too much. Okay. Okay. Still not coloring over this area because it looks pretty light. It still looks like that beige color. All right. Now we're gonna go over it with the gray again, the warm gray number 4. Very lightly. Just enough to get it to start to blend together. Very light. Very light. Very light. And go over this very lightly too. Very, very light. Little to no pressure. Now I think I'm going to go over it again with the dark flesh. Blend this all together. Still light, but a little bit more pressure because we want to blend this together. We don't want it to look grainy. Now I'm going to hit this with the, what is this? Cold gray number 5. I'm going to darken this up a little bit. But it still doesn't look quite as dark as I would like it. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to use dark umber. burnt umber. I'm sorry. Let me get these names right. Burnt umber. Burnt umber. Just a little bit. And we don't want the jawline too defined because it doesn't look that defined. But it does gradually kind of get darker right here. And now, if you look really closely, like really close, it looks like he has a slight scar. And I'm just now seeing this myself. It's a slight scar right above where that bump is. It's just, I mean, it's very subtle, but that's what I mean when I say you have to really train your eye to see these type of details. Because I'm just now seeing it myself. But it's like it's very subtle scar. Very, very subtle. Going back over with the kaput. And I'm going to take the dark burnt umber and very lightly go over this cheek. And you can even put little light little specks, right? Or dots. Very light. Just to, because when you look at the skin, it's not super smooth. It's, you got blemishes in there. We're not trying to draw every blemish. Like, that's not what we're trying to do, but you just want to give some indication of some of it. Give it that realistic look. Sometimes you might have to press it a little harder just to get them to show up a little bit. Okay. Now we're trying to get this area right here, right, where it's lighter. Because it's very gradual, like, you don't want it to look like he has vitiligo, right? So you gotta make sure this blends right. I'm using cinnamon. Right here. And I'm gonna take the cold gray number 2, go over this. And then I'm gonna hit it with the kaput under the hair, because there's a little bit of shadow under there. Just a little bit. And okay. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of white. Just a little bit. I'm pressing hard because it's, it's not taking too many more layers now. But I want these white. I'm not going to just color it white. I'm just going to put little specks of white just to bring it out a little bit. And this needs to be blended in a little bit more. Yeah. Let's see. Come in with the gray just very lightly. Very, very light. Very light. Put a little bit more blemishes. Because we're trying to make a smooth transition from dark to light. We don't just want a patch of light skin. It has to, it's very gradual, right? I could probably even go in with more kaput for the cheek. It's a little bit darker. Just a little bit. Okay. Under this bump is like kind of reddish. So put more of that kaput. Circular motion. And go over this bump with a touch of little color. And I'm going to take this white and I'm going to go over where I see the scar. You really can't see, it's not that visible, but I just want to pull it out just a little bit more. Yeah, some light areas right here. I need to darken this up too. You know what? I probably could use, I'm gonna say dark red on his chin. Because it looks real red to me. Just really lightly, just giving it more of a reddish tint. Okay. Let me get this ear. Wait, before I do that, let me give him some more blemishes. I'm pressing hard because in order for it to show up, I have to because of all the layers that's already there. So don't be scared to press hard once you've gotten this many layers. Let me get this ear now. Start with the dark flesh. Get in here. Dark flesh in there. Oh, I almost, you see, gotta pay attention to the colors you use. I almost used blue. Nope, kaput. And when I'm coloring, I got all the colors I'm using in my left hand, and I just pull and put one back, grab another one, put one back, grab another one. That's usually how I work. Not saying you have to work that way. I'm just telling you that's how I do it. You got to do what's comfortable for you. All right. Dark flesh. I'm going to use the beige for this lighter area. And a white. Stay still. Hitting it with the nougat. I'm not sure if this is a piece of hair or what. I think it is. That's coming down on his ear. I think that's a piece of hair. And again, when you're coloring these areas and you see these edges, you don't want really sharp edges. I mean, sometimes you do, like, but most times you want it to be somewhat of a softness to the edge. That's what's going to make your work look realistic as well. It's your tones, your edges, your colors, and of course the rendering part. But to be honest, the rendering part, if I had to rank the most important aspects to making something look realistic, it would be number one, the tones. Your edges. I would say color second or third, and the rendering, like how well it's rendered, I mean, that's last, right? Because it can not look like the person, right? Because when you're rendering, you're trying to make it look like the person. So it could not look like the person, but still look realistic, right? So then that means rendering would be last, because it's more about the tones and the values. The rendering is just the technical part. The drawing it out, that's just trying to, get the likeness, but that's not necessarily gonna make it look realistic. Now I'm getting close to ending this session. I think we made good progress. Still some areas I see that I could touch up on the cheek. And again, I apologize for not having the hair video available. I'll try to make another video just demonstrating how to do hair. I feel really bad about it, but things happen. I just don't know what happened. I uploaded it onto my laptop, and then it was saying something about storage and this and that, make room or something. I ended up deleting. I don't know what happened, but I lost it. So I'll make sure that will not happen again. We do not want that happening again. I know that. Bruh. Ooh. Excuse me. My bad. Hey, I'm human. I'm sorry. I had to burp. Excuse me. All right. I think we're going to stop here because we're a little over an hour. And I don't want this video to be too long. So I think we made good progress. The toughest part is always the face, because you got to get the face right? That's the part that you want to pay really close attention to. I mean, you want to pay close attention to everything, but the face, you got to get the face right. Got to get the face right. The body, you still want to pay attention, but the body is always easier because, it's not a face, so there can be some imperfections and things in the face because it's the body. And all the attention is mainly going to be on his face, right? Got to look like Bruce Lee. So if you don't got the face right, then you don't have a good portrait. You know what? I don't like that corner of his mouth. I think I put too much. Yeah. Gave him too much on the corner right there. Very careful. I think that works. Alright, I think I'm going to stop here, because if I don't stop, I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going. And the time is just going to keep going and going and going and going. You can easily get really lost in your drawings, which is a good thing, you know. Because normally, like I said, I have music on, I'm just vibing out, and it's just, you just kind of get lost in your work, which is a great thing. Everything around you just kind of disappears. But all right, I'm gonna stop. I keep saying that and then I keep going. All right, until next time. Thank you.